News Daily, we start in Iowa, where we've learned in the last hour that 5 people are still unaccounted for in that partial building collapse in Davenport. City officials say they believe 2 people are still trapped inside.
Yeah, this all comes after emergency responders rescued a 52-year-old woman from her apartment unscathed hours after search and rescue missions had been called off. City officials originally planned to prepare to tear this building down as early as today, but after that woman was rescued, impromptu protesters called on city officials to pause the demolition. NBC News correspondent Shaq Brewster is live in Davenport, Iowa for us. So Shaq, bring us up to speed. What's happening with this demolition at this point?
Well, it is effectively on pause. The mayor is still, I believe they're still in a press conference as we speak, and they said the staging will still take place, but in terms of the process of this building coming down, that is being reassessed in real time. You mentioned the new numbers that we just got. 5 people unaccounted for, including 2 people who are likely, according to officials, in that building. The mayor described it as a likely resting place for those 2 individuals who they believe are still left behind. But one thing that we continue to hear from officials is the true danger of this building still being held up. I want you to listen to what we heard from one of the engineers who essentially said this building could come crashing down any point now, and that's the urgency in trying to get that process started.
You can't run up to a pile of bricks and rocks and just start throwing things off. As much as we want to get everybody out, and we want to do it right now.
To that point, the officials there said that any demolition that begins whenever it begins, again, no timeline there, it will be done with dignity, with care for the fact that there are possibly people inside. But I'll tell you, here on the ground, there's still a lot of frustration that there was even talk of this demolition beginning this morning, especially when that rescue that is on your screen right now, I was there right in the aftermath of it, especially when so many people witnessed Lisa Brooks being rescued from the building just last night after the official search and recovery mission was over.
Yeah, Shaq, I mean, yesterday, as you were reporting from the ground, both you and our colleague Maggie Vespa were speaking with Lisa Brooks' family, and they were saying, why are officials saying this is now just a recovery effort, that they're done with this? We know she's still missing. And clearly, they were right. She was still inside that building. What else are you hearing from her family? How is Lisa doing?
Yeah. Well, Antoine, her nephew, is telling me that she is doing well. She's now out of the hospital. When she was hospitalized yesterday after being rescued, she was severely dehydrated, but she is now released and doing well. She's saying her example, her story is a reason why this building should not come down, is a reason why there should be another thorough search of the building. Officials are responding to that concept or that idea by saying they are going to try to do another search, but they're weighing it against the odds and the condition of the building. You see those pictures there on your screen right now. They're saying this building is getting worse. It's shifting every few minutes or so. So they want to make sure this comes down in an organized way, but they have a lot to balance as they make that decision.
I have a reporter live on the scene.
Yes, Fox 18's Trey Harris is live in downtown Davenport. Trey's at the scene for us.
So, guys, the scene is growing and growing and growing. The police presence it's booming out here right now. As far as well as the protesters out here, too. There's a lot of signs back here that are saying, you know, keep the building up, go in and do some more searches right now. One thing I haven't really focused on this morning are the pets that are possibly in that building. And right now I have an employee here, the King's Harvest. I'm sorry, I forgot your name there.
Terry Clyde.
This is Terry Clyde right now. So she works with King's Harvest right now. She was just kind of updating me on some of the pet statuses right now. There are quite a few pets in there left off, so I'm going to let her kind of list that off and talk about what you've been phone calls you've been receiving at King Harvest.
We've received multiple phone calls, people asking for help because their animals are in there, not in the part that collapsed, just in their rooms, their apartments. As of right now, we know there's at least 6 cats, 1 dog, 2 snakes, and a lizard. Those are the ones that we know for sure are in there, and the city's not doing anything to rescue them. They're just trying to demolish the building and kill all the animals, let alone the people that are still in there.
John, residents say that issues were endless, from cracks in the walls to water leaks. The list just went on and on as I continued to talk to them. But now all that remains for some of these apartments are the clothes still hanging in the closet.
Dispatching Chief 1, we've got a building collapse.
A portion of an apartment complex in downtown Davenport erased in seconds.
My dog started barking at first, and I asked her, I'm like, why are you barking? Why are you barking? And then I heard the sound, and the building started shaking. And I honestly didn't think I was gonna make it to the first floor, like, at all.
Toriana Hill moved in October of last year. The problems, like the roommate you wish you never had.
My key for my front door didn't work for the first, I want to say 4 months that I was living there. It's always something wrong with the water, and it's always something wrong with the building, period.
This video was taken in October from the building's hallway. Yvette Williams shares the same harrowing sentiment.
When you first come into my apartment, on the right-hand side before you go into the kitchen, there was a crack like this long.
When she moved in November from California, Williams was excited to begin a new life chapter.
I had no curtains, but I love my big windows. It's a dream come true to move downtown.
That dream, now a real-life nightmare that began months ago.
And then when you look down and you see these construction, or whatever they call them, breaking the building brick by brick and throwing it into that dumpster. We shouldn't have been there, and how dare them? Shame on them.
Her next best step, one she is still figuring out.
I just don't have a place, and I lost everything. I have a job. I don't have work clothes. You know, it just sucks.